Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. So on February 27th, I posted a video that showed my fig propagation method. Now a week prior to that, I propagated probably, I think almost all of my my figs in smaller pots, so number 1 to 1 gallons. But in that video, I didn't have any more of those, but I had a 3 gallon, and I had one particular cutting that I wanted to take from the mother tree that I had. And you know what? Just go ahead and watch the clip. This is 1 minute cobbled together from that video. Because it kind of shows you from a start to finish what goes on with this process. So I kind of want to get rid of it. And to me, it looks like one decent sized cutting. So we're going to go ahead and take it. This compost is actually about half this pot's worth of unsifted, unfinished compost. It's a couple scoops of perlite, and the rest is sifted finished compost. With a little teeny paintbrush and my Clone X, which is a rooting hormone, I dip. If I actually get deep enough in there, and then we paint. And we paint. Try to get for the center. I'm going to actually try to angle it a bit so I can get this, because he is curled. If I can get this piece straight up like that. Okay, so there you have it. That was exactly how I propagated. It was nothing more than take the cutting, put the rooting hormone on. It was, you know, semi-finished for the most part, homemade compost with a little bit of perlite. I put the cutting in at an angle and I buried it almost to the terminal bud. So yeah, that was a pretty easy process all in all. And today, and I think I alluded actually in the full video that I wasn't sure what was going to happen, because I wasn't really sure what was going to happen. I figured it was going to work to some degree, but I had no idea to what degree it was going to work. And today, here's the result. Here she is, my friends. She is 2 feet tall from the base of the potting mix to the tip of the terminal bud up here. And that was a couple days ago I took that measurement, so she's probably, you know, a 1/4 inch taller than that, at least by now. Has a number of good shoots coming out of multiple pieces of the stem, and we've got 2-inch internodes probably between leaves at this point. So she's been getting plenty of sunlight. She's been well watered in. I'm pretty sure she's got a pretty robust root system. If I'm not mistaken, I can take the whole thing out right now, see roots, and it's not falling apart. But I can tell right now she has no roots at the bottom spinning around, so she still has room to grow at this point. Now what I want to do is compare and contrast this to a really healthy Celeste fig. This is a variety of Celeste that I have sitting in a either 1 gallon or a number 1 trade size nursery pot. And we can see how different the size is when you give them this much more room to root and grow out in. And mind you, the 1 gallon I'm about to show you is a week older. So I just took a tape measure to both. About 25 inches from the base of the compost to the tip of the terminal bud, not the tallest leaf where it's kind of going above that. And this one's about 15 inches. So we got about 10 inches taller and more root that can grow out in this one versus this number 1 right here, which again, this is a really healthy plant. We've got 4. This was a terminal bud as well, that the cutting was. And out of that cutting, we have 3 more stems that emerged. And this one has 3 or 4 more stems out of its bud as well. So we are seeing a lot of great growth out of both of these. The difference is this one here is going to probably cap out soon, if not already, because the root system is going to be fully developed at this point, and it is not going to be able to keep pushing out more growth because it just doesn't have the root to support it. This one, on the other hand, probably has another foot of growth in it before that pot is going to be maybe a little stressed for space. But by that point, it's going to be perfect timing for it to grow, to get transplanted into the ground in October or September even, so it can root out in the ground before it actually has to go dormant. Whereas this one kind of needs to get potted up right now, or it needs to get into the ground now, but the weather is not really conducive for transplanting, especially if it disturbs roots, because we are sitting in the middle of a really hot summer where our average is, you know, low to mid 90s with not above 100 with the humidity level. So yeah, this tells me that, you know, if you want to take a cutting from a fig tree of yours, the size pot you go with is going to be very dependent on what your personal goals are. My personal goals for most of my cuttings were to put them in number ones or number 1 gallons. And for those of you who don't know, a number 1 trade size nursery pot is probably 3/4 of a gallon. It's not actually a 1 gallon, whereas a 1 gallon is truly a 1 gallon. They use those terms a little interchangeably, even though the actual capacity is different. Anyway, I did mine in smaller pots because my goal was to root them out faster, because the smaller the pot, a successful rooting, assume that you have a successful rooting, it's going to root out faster in there because there's less space to go. That being said, it's going to root out faster, which means you have to do something with it earlier. My goal for those was simply to root them out quick, get a good solid 1-foot plant, throw it on Facebook Marketplace so that it can go to a good home. If for some reason you wanted to not have to pot something up or not have to transplant in the spring, late spring, early summer, you might go with a bigger pot. So I'm willing to bet that I could have gone probably up to about a 5 gallon with that cutting and still had it where it wasn't going to be rooted out by the end of the growing season and ready for transplant in the fall. Now, you transplant in the fall, you're going to transplant when things are a bit cooler. It's actually some growers actually prefer to transplant in the fall, only because you're going to let it establish its roots right before it goes dormant. It's not going to have the stress of the summertime. For me, it's, like I said, it's a matter of your goals. If you actually want to sell a plant, you can make more money on a 3 gallon or a 5 gallon. The problem is, do you have an audience to sell to in the fall? Even though it is a really great time to transplant, a lot of people are kind of gardened out by that point. So yeah, I just wanted to give an update on this, because for those of you who watched that video, you may have wondered, hey, what does this plant look like? Did it succeed? Because I haven't done really a fig update video since then, and I thought it'd be fun to showcase it. So again, bigger pot requires more compost. You're not going to have to water it quite as much though, because it is going to be able to hold more water. But it is going to be a trade-off between how fast it is going to root out and, you know, if you are looking to sell, when you're going to be selling. So I hope you enjoyed this little update video. I like sharing this one. Like I said, this is a special plant to me. If you have any questions, feel free to post below. And until next time, thanks for watching. Take care.